We're so glad that you've joined us for Leadership Bits and Bytes this morning, and especially because we have a great episode planned for you that we know you are going to enjoy. We love bringing new stories to you each month, letting you know more about the leaders and the success stories that are right in our backyard. And today is not anything other than a great example of that. We get to introduce to you and welcome Andrea Owens, who is the President, CEO of HourGlass Testing Solutions. And we just are excited to have you here to talk with us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, great. So, Andrea, tell us a little bit about what does HourGlass Testing Solutions do?
Well, we are a drug testing resource company. We're located in Grand Rapids here, and we provide just solutions to for employers who are struggling with the current landscape with drug testing for their workplace. So education and training, not just for the employer, but for the employee to understand the perils of substance use disorder and how that spills into the workplace, and just training employers on what things to look for and how they can write policies that can help create a culture of safety within their workplace. So,
and that is so important to really frame it around safety, because that is the goal,
yes,
both for our team members who are a part of that organization, as well as others who are going to be impacted by it. So I love that framework. Talk a little bit about what does the education look like if someone said, we would love to have you help educate our team more around this issue. Are there certain topics that you typically would go over, or how does that happen?
Well, one of the things that is so important is to talk with individuals that supervise those that are out in the trenches, right? So it's called reasonable suspicion, supervisory training. And what that talks about is, how do you work with your employees? How do you just kind of pay attention to their behavior, their performance? What are some of the things to look for? Here we talk about the different drugs that are out there, and what are some of the ways in which an individual would act, right? Their physical their behavioral, their job performance again. And that supervisor would be trained in that, so they can kind of hone in and say, okay, maybe this individual isn't quite doing what they would normally be doing. Let's take them to the side, let's have a conversation. And then there's steps and there's documentation that goes along with it. It's based on drugs of abuse and alcohol, right? Alcohol use. What are some of the things to look for? And the only way a supervisor is really going to be equipped with that is to go through that training. And then what's really important above all is the supervisor just having a relationship with their work, with the work staff, with the staff. It's not, I've had people say to me, well, I'm just going to be, like looking at someone and just, being on top, all over them, looking at them, being suspicious. It's not that. It's one, having a relationship with your staff. And then two, the tools that I train you on that'll help you to determine, is there something wrong? And so then we go from there. There's documentation again. So that's part of that.
I love the emphasis on the relationship, because it is so important that we have a relationship where we can speak into things and to gain understanding. Sometimes we might think that it is a safety issue of some kind, a drug, substance abuse, but maybe it's something different that's going on for them personally. And having that relationship could really help inform us and give us better understanding of how to lead this person as well.
It could be a medical issue. It could be, like you said, personal. There's also, as part of what we do, is there's an initiative in Michigan called the Recovery Friendly Workplace. And Michigan has adopted that, and I'm on their task force for the state. And so I don't know if employers know, but they can gain a designation as a recovery friendly workplace. And that program is free. They're trained, the employer is trained, and it's more of an open door for employees who are struggling, that are going through recovery, to give them an opportunity to not be looked at differently or have that stigma around that. It's to break that, and for employers to just have a better understanding. You have someone with a great skill set that has been valuable to their workforce, and just coming, even though we're 4 years past the pandemic, people are still struggling with that loss, all those things that we just deal with day to day. And so where they find there's themselves in that situation. And so that's another opportunity that we help employers navigate through that. And so all of those things put together can really create a great workplace culture.
So I love adding that piece to what we've already been talking about in terms of building a strong relationship, having good practices in place so when something arises, how to address it. But then the third piece, also adding resources to the mix so that you can be restorative and you can really hopefully restore a person to good standing within your organization and provide safety at the same time. I'm curious for you, as the founder of the organization, talk to us a little bit about what has that been like for you. What have you learned maybe along the way that has helped you to establish this and continue to grow it?
The fuel behind what I do, that passion for all of this, my mom was injured in a car accident, and it was a debilitating accident that she dealt with physically and mentally for the rest of her life. And so as I've navigated through that over the years, and just seeing firsthand what substance use disorder, because we don't want to use substance abuse, that there's that stigma. So substance use disorder, how that's just affected our family. And so as we've moved along, just learning more about it, getting really involved with the industry organization INDESA, and being a part of their training and different committees over the years, and recently becoming a state affiliate for that organization. So for the state of Michigan, being affiliate for that, trying to work with legislators and keeping up on the latest news and what's going on in the industry. That's really helped me in just being able to speak more on this and be confident about it, talking to people, and just again, growing those relationships and helping employers, and my passion to want to help employers just grow in that area and understand and be familiar with what they aren't familiar with, and that you can still have that safe workplace. Some people shy away in what they don't know, and so that's again what pushes me to just want to talk to as many that will listen about no, there's things that happen, but there's also ways of working with individuals. So that's helps me to lead and all of that.
It's so, I hear the passion that you have and the understanding at a very deep level because of your personal experience. What I appreciate is how you've turned that into an opportunity to really help other people navigate some of those things that I'm sure when you were first going through it personally, you didn't have all of those resources, maybe didn't know all those things. And so as you're giving leadership, not only to your clients, but also to the legislature and to other people that you meet along the way, it's a great impact that you're having. And that's one of the things that we see from leaders is that impact. I'm curious, is there one tip that you would share with someone else, maybe from your journey as a leader, maybe one thing that you've learned or one tip someone gave you that really was meaningful to you?
I think being transparent in the fact that you can't do it all yourself, that I don't have all the answers. And so finding someone that can really mentor you, encourage you, and tell you, and to be, and to have that relationship where they can say to you, hey, that didn't seem quite right, what you're thinking or what you said. Have you thought about this? And so that's important, having that mentor and having that team around you that can support you. That's huge. You can't do it by yourself, and you don't want to have that feeling of trying to hold on to everything. Yeah. You've got to let go, you've got to be transparent, and just have people that are willing to walk alongside of you and to help you grow.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. How would people get in touch with you if they would like to know more about either the services you provide or how they could benefit from that? How might they reach you?
Well, you can reach me on my website. It's www.hourglasstesting.com. We have a contact page where they can just fill that in and send me an email. Or you can email me directly at first name, Andrea.Owens, Owens, at hourglasstesting.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being our guest this morning.
Welcome.
It has been a pleasure to learn so much more about what you're doing, and again, to have this wonderful opportunity to see how many people are bringing great services, great innovation to West Michigan. And we are the beneficiaries of that as a community. So thank you again, and we'll look forward to next month.
All right.